Now, card games have been played by several ages. Since they're young, we played poker cards like this, and then we got older, then we started playing Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh or some TCG games. Basically, you buy boosters, get deck, and then you just spend like, I don't know, a lot of cash to buy each booster for 7 cards, and you put it into your deck, strengthen your power and all those stuff. Well, last time I'm a TCG player, but it's just too expensive hobby for me, so I started into board gaming. But now, this game has been designed by this guy called Donald X. He created this. He was once a Magic the Gathering creator, and yet he designed this board game which uses the same system of TCG and basically help us save our cash and get to experience CCG all over again. Oh, TCG, sorry, not CCG. Okay, well, the game is what we would call Dominion. Alright, the box is quite big, and what you get inside this box is, let's see, we have our normal rules, which is just a few like 8 pages thick rules, and not surprisingly 500 cards. As you can see here, there's a lot of cards. Alright, some of the cards I keep in the box, but there's exactly around 500 cards. Alright, Dominion basically plays out as you are a monarch trying to basically, you are given a few dollars. At the start of the game, you're given a few dollars, and you're trying to basically expand your land and be the best and the richest person in the game. Now, I'm gonna show you a bit of the components, and then I'll explain a bit about it, and I'll review what I think about it. Basically, Dominion comes in this 500 cards in Dominion. There is a few things that you have to make sure that there is. First is called what we call the treasure cards. These are treasure cards, which is basically currency. You can see that in this game there are 500 cards, but there are a lot of duplicates. They are all the same, right? These are treasure cards. There is what we would call the victory cards, which are points, basically to win the game. And there are curse cards, which will damage you. And we have what we call the action cards. These are one of the example. The other one would be like this, and so on. Okay, in this game, you're basically trying to get the most points possible, which is basically victory cards. As you can see, the green border cards. Alright, in your deck. Alright, this game uses the card drafting system. What it does is that you basically start off the game with 10 set of cards, and then you start by building your deck over and over and over again until one of the game condition is met, and then the game ends and everyone calculates their points. Whoever has the most points wins the game. Alright, I'm going to show you a bit of how Dominion is like, and then yeah, maybe you get a gist of it. Well, you start off the game with 7 copper, which is basically here, 7 of these coppers, which is worth 1, and 3 of these estate cards. And this is basically your deck. Alright, you start the game by shuffling these 10 cards, and then you draw 5 out of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so this is basically your starting hand. Alright, in your turn, you may do 3 things. The first thing is basically to play an action card. Well, for the first 2 rounds, you definitely not have any action cards, so you skip the first thing. Alright, the second thing is to buy. Okay, so how we buy is we basically play the number of coin cards we have in front on our hands in front of us. Basically, this is worth 1 plus 1, which is basically 2, and then we may buy things on the market. Alright, the market is quite big. It contains 10 of these action cards like this. This is one type. Basically, we have a stack, and let's say we have another stack around here. Yeah, we have 10 stacks of this on the market. Alright, and we have a few stacks of like point cards, which are green in borders, such as this. These are point cards, and also money cards, which are this. Alright, it's all in the market. So basically, you buy things using your money on your hand from the market. So let's say I pay 2 copper, which is basically worth 2. I may buy a seller. Now, how do I know that how much should I pay for each card? We look at the number here. Alright, this represents 2, so we may buy as much as what we can pay. So we buy a seller. Alright, now then we go to a third phase, which is called the clear out phase, where all our cards that are played, no matter what, is thrown into a discard pile, and then we draw another 5 cards. Alright, which is basically 5 copper. And let's say I have enough money to buy gold. Let's say we have 6 here. Alright, then we throw it, and then we put it into our discard pile. Now we have no more cards to draw from our deck, so we take our discard pile, which is this, and then we shuffle it, and we shuffle them, and then we draw 5 more cards out. So let's say I draw this 5. Alright, now remember, the first thing to do is an action. You can always play one action, but action cards allow you to do more actions. There are some action cards that allow you to do so, not all. Alright, and some action cards allow you to do more things, like buy more stuff, because each turn you can only buy one thing. Now, for example, the seller allows you to play one more action, and you may discard any number of cards, and you get to draw 1 card from your deck. So this is quite a powerful card for worth of $2. Now, what's the goal of this game is to buy these. These are the goal, right? This is worth 6 points for each card. Now, the thing about this game is that you don't buy much of these point cards at the start of the game, because this will block your deck. And if your deck thickens, you'll be full of point cards. You might think that you win, but it's hard for you to draw 5 cards. And let's say I draw 5 cards and all 5 cards are point cards, then you waste 1 turn. So it's best to optimize between actions, money, and also points, so that you don't lose out in the game. Now the game ends when the whole province deck disappears, that means finished, or 3 of any decks on the market finishes, and then everyone takes out all their green points and calculate it minus of any cursed cards they have in their deck, and then the person with the most points win. For those in board gaming world, you know that Dominion is the game of the year, basically 2008, if I'm not wrong. Hopefully. Well, because it creates so much tension, and it's a simple game that can be completed in 30 minutes also, and it takes maximum of 4 players, even though the intrigue expansion allows you to play up to 6, but that will slow the game down. And there can be multiples of expansions coming up for this game, because it allows us to play TCG without wasting so much cash on TCG itself. And you know, come to think about strategies and whatever combinations you can do is so different every time, because this game comes with 25 kingdom cards, while every game you play you only use 10 of it. Now, so come to think about it, it's 25 and you only take 10. 25, choose 10, just do the math yourself. And with expansions coming out over and over again, each expansion coming out with 25 or 26 more, so you think about it, there's already 2 expansions, which is basically 75 if you buy all 3 of them. So 75, choose 10. Imagine the possible amount of replayability in the game itself. Well, the first game is the base game, basically the one that I showed you, is more simple and it's more direct to approach, but while the expansion adds a lot of depth into the game and prolongs the game longer, and there's more and even more strategies. Now, if you've never heard of Dominion, I would suggest you to really grab a copy of this, no matter what. This is basically your cure of TCG. Alright, if you have no money to play TCG anymore and you want to play TCG with your friends, this is it. Alright, don't let this go. This is the best card game I've ever played in my life. Alright, Dominion, get it now.